Okay, coffee chat crew, let's catch our breath and jump back into There's Treasure Inside. Because wow, this last week has felt like a month and a half. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm finally sitting down with my book again, hot drink in hand, brain only slightly fried, and I wanted to do a little catch-up chat about the hunt, the community, and where my head's at. Anyone else feel like time has been weird lately? Like, the calendar says 1 week, but emotionally it's been 3 seasons and a character arc? Same. The weather's finally shifted, but somehow the hunt feels like it's heating up more than ever. New videos, new podcasts, new Discord theories, new Facebook essays, and I'm over here like, cool, cool, cool. Love that for us. Also, I have not opened my book in 4 days, and I'm terrified I've forgotten how to read. One thing I've been wondering lately, can any of these boxes realistically be found in winter? Like, has anyone done a full deep dive video on winter-specific hunting for TTI? Not just wear layers, but how snow changes visibility of hiding spots. How safe it is to go BOTG when the trails are icy, and whether certain solves are literally season dependent. Because right now it feels like there's this low-key panic. If I take a week off to be a functioning human, someone else is going to swoop in, decode the entire poem, solve all 23 chapters, and dig up Joy herself. And on top of that, the YouTube content just keeps coming. New breakdowns, new I've cracked it thumbnails, new podcast episodes. Meanwhile, my poor book is sitting on the table like, hey, remember me? I'm the actual puzzle. So if you're also worried that taking a week off will break your momentum, you're not alone. I feel that too. But I'm starting to think breaks might actually be part of the solve, like built into the emotional design of this whole thing. From everything the author has said, his whole approach feels really inclusive. This hunt is for everyone, not just expert puzzlers or hardcore hikers, but families, beginners, people of average health, all ages. That's the stated tone, wide open, welcoming, story-driven. But lately, some of the online spaces around the hunt don't always feel like that. You might know the feeling. You come in excited, share an idea, or mention your solve, and suddenly you're being talked down to. Someone with status in the group steamrolls you. Or you feel like your voice doesn't really count unless you have years of puzzle clout. And at some point, you hit this emotional wall. I love the hunt. I don't love this room. I've seen people say things like, this used to be fun, but it's not anymore. I'm stepping back for my own peace of mind. This doesn't feel like the kind of community John is trying to build. And honestly, I get it. Sometimes the healthiest move is, I'm not quitting the hunt. I'm just choosing better rooms. One thing that keeps coming up is the psychology of competition. On paper, this is a beautiful story about joy, wonder, and nature. In reality, it's also a winner-take-all race, with big money on the line, and a lot of tired, sore, emotionally invested humans behind keyboards. So you get bruised egos, people who've spent serious money on BOTG trips, folks who've hiked the same spot 3 times and still found nothing, plus real-life stuff, mental health, financial stress, chronic pain, stacked on top. And all of that pressure has to go somewhere. Sometimes it comes out as snarky comments. You're crazy replies. DMs telling you your solve is trash? Or just that heavy, discouraging energy that makes people want to leave. There were a few really wise comments floating around that basically boiled down to, you can't prove you're right without a box. Most of us are just trying to share ideas without giving everything away. It's okay, actually smart, to keep your best stuff private. And it's also okay to log out, take a break, and protect your peace. And I love that reminder. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Especially in a hunt where the author keeps using words like joy, patience, and story, it feels kind of ironic that we sometimes treat each other like we're in a cage match. There's also been an interesting debate about what kind of person will actually solve this thing. One perspective I've seen is, this treasure won't be found by someone greedy, judgmental, or lacking empathy. Not because the author will block them, but because the mindset needed to solve the deeper layers doesn't really align with that kind of personality. The idea is the book rewards curiosity, humility, patience, and shared adventure, not hostility or I must beat everyone at all costs energy. And honestly, on a gut level, that makes sense to me. But then another thoughtful counterpoint came in. People are complicated. History is full of brilliant, difficult humans who weren't always gentle or easy to get along with, but still solved huge problems, created masterpieces, or changed the world. So the takeaway for me is yes, mindset matters. Yes, tearing others down is a bad look and probably a bad strategy. But also, we should be careful not to oversimplify people or write them off too fast. Someone can be awkward online but brilliant at pattern spotting, competitive but also deeply creative, messy and still capable of a breakthrough. So, where I've landed is this. The book seems tuned toward qualities like curiosity, patience, and joy. But humans are messy, and we don't get to sort them into worthy and unworthy finders. Okay, let's shift gears into something more practical and slightly terrifying. What happens if you actually find a box? This came up in chat too. Would you auction the contents? Sell everything as one lot? Split it up? Coins, bars, documents, artifacts? Keep some and sell the rest? Some people said they'd keep the gold in the box, sell celebrity items or memorabilia they don't care about, or let an auction house like Sotheby's handle it. Then the big, very unromantic question, do I have to pay taxes on this? And when? There's been speculation about whether it's considered a gift or a prize, who owes what when it's sold, how it's reported, and whether the author will help with taxes, which he's mentioned in interviews. Bottom line, any real treasure comes with real-world logistics. Most of us picture holding the gold on a mountain, not sitting at a kitchen table Googling capital gains on found treasure. But that's part of this too. Then there's the tracking device conspiracy. Some folks wondered, are there trackers hidden in the boxes? Could they be solar powered? Would the artist have secretly put them in without the author knowing? Others pushed back with, he already said there are no trackers. That would be a legal nightmare. If you're going to track something, you tell people up front. And honestly, I'm with the let's not overcomplicate this camp. We already have enough to decode without pretending the boxes are spy gear. What is interesting, though, is this. We might not know right away when a box is found. Someone could quietly pull one, use the lion's share clue inside, work on another box, and wait to contact the author until they're ready. So, when people say things like, someone claims to have found the AF box, we're left in that uncomfortable place. No hard proof, no official announcement, but just enough detail that you can't totally dismiss it either. And that's emotionally tricky, because you don't want to waste time on a box that's already gone, but you also don't want to abandon a perfectly good solve just because someone on the internet said, I got it. Now, before I wrap this part 1, I want to touch on one more theme that keeps popping up. Music and the word search. There's a whole school of thought that the Joy's Serenade word search is way more than a cute bonus puzzle. People are treating it like a multi-stage game, linking it to lines in the poem, combining it with references to bands, songs, and even specific lyrics. For example, following the word joy and all the little things that bring joy sprinkled through the book. Finding music references that line up with those themes, noticing patterns that point to specific bands or songs, and then those songs, in turn, reinforcing certain locations or emotional beats in the hunt. It's like the book is saying, follow joy, literally. Whether every musical rabbit hole is intentional, or whether some of them are just our brains doing interpretive gymnastics, is still up for debate. But I kind of love that. Even when people disagree on the solve, they're still discovering new art, new music, new connections, and calling that a kind of treasure too. So yeah, that's where my head's been. Winter hunting and momentum. Community vibes versus personal peace. Competition, ego, and emotional burnout. Taxes, auctions, and the what if I actually find this thing? Problem. Trackers? Probably not. Quiet finds? Possibly yes. And music plus word search rabbit holes that may or may not be genius. This is part one of my catch up. I've got more to say about specific clues, some number patterns, and deeper theory stuff. But I'll save that for part two so this doesn't turn into a 6-hour audiobook. If you're still here, still solving, still nursing your favorite pet theory and trying not to freak out every time someone posts, I found it, same. You are my people.